welcome to the Learning Kitchen Live. We're broadcasting to you live from the Community Servings Learning Kitchen. And my name is Beth Kitzis. I'm a dietitian here at Community Servings. So this series is going to be featuring a recipe each week and a little bit of a nutrition talk. So drop a hello, let us know if you're watching. Feel free to put questions in the comments as well. And just let us know, you can ask questions related to today's recipe or today's topic, or just any general nutrition questions as well. And after this session, I will be posting the recipe for today's class as well into the Facebook Live feed. So today I wanted to talk about healthy snacking. So I know a lot of people have been sort of complaining a little bit, or maybe lamenting that they're doing a lot of snacking while they're at home. And that, of course, is perfectly normal. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what healthy snacking is, because a lot of times I get questions from clients or friends, like, what should I have for a snack? And the truth is that snacks are really meant to be something that bridges us between meals. So we all eat when we're bored or watching TV and things like that, and that's fine. But really, when you think about what a snack is, it's supposed to be something that either holds you over till your next meal, or keeps your blood sugar steady, and keeps your energy level up. So I like to think of snacks as something that's going to provide me with some nutrition, rather than like a treat or something that I'm having just to kind of, make me feel like happy, or like a cupcake or a cookie. Those are not really snacks, those are more like treats. So snacks are more like a mini meal. When we're snacking out of boredom or emotional reasons, that really can lead to a lot of weight gain or just kind of overeating. So what we want to do is snack more mindfully. And what that means is really thinking about what we're having as a snack, planning ahead, maybe thinking about how much nutrition we're getting from the snacks. The problem is a lot of times snacking ends up being more spontaneous and not planned. We might plan what we're having for dinner or what we're having for breakfast. We don't always plan our snacks, and especially if you're going back to work now, if you don't plan knowing that you're going to need a snack in the afternoon, that 4 o'clock blood sugar dip, what do? If you have a vending machine in your office, it probably isn't stocked with a lot of healthy things. So we really need to plan ahead. And that means bringing a snack with us, knowing we're going to need that. So if you have access to a refrigerator at work, you can really bring anything you want that you can store. But if you don't have that, you sort of are stuck with things that might be more shelf staples. So that might be like nuts, or one of the healthier protein bars, something like that. So what we're going to do today is make a snack that is pretty common for a lot of people. We're going to be making a roasted pepper hummus and some homemade chips. So of course this is a really good healthy snack that you could buy in a grocery store, but I thought it would be kind of fun to show you how to make it from scratch. And that way it won't have any preservatives, and it's a nice, bright, fresh, summery thing, using some fresh summer peppers, and some ingredients that maybe a lot of people have on hand as well, like beans and spices and oil and things like that. So just before I finish out the snacking piece of this lesson, I just want to remind you that a healthy snack usually will contain a carbohydrate, so that's something like a whole grain, a fruit, a vegetable, something that will keep your blood sugar up, and then something that has some protein that's going to keep you full and keep you from having the blood sugar go down. And then usually we like to make sure that there's at least some sort of fat in that, so either that could be from nuts, or some sort of healthy fat like beans that we're going to be having, and tahini, or even some cheese or yogurt. You just want to make sure you're getting all three of those food groups in your snack to keep you full. So I'm going to get us started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roast some peppers. So I'm going to get some gloves. So I have 2 red peppers here. You could also do this with yellow or orange peppers too. You will definitely see a difference in the color. But traditionally, a pepper hummus would be made with red peppers. So these are going to take a little while to cook, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, but then I'm going to show you what they'll look like when they finish. Sorry, this glove is not going on very well. Okay, so I just have 2 plain peppers, and I'm not going to do any prep to them. I've preheated an oven to about 400 degrees, And I'm just gonna put them right on a sheet pan and put them in the oven. And what you wanna do is just burn them. So you're gonna put them in the oven probably like 20 to 30 minutes until they're really black on all sides. So I'll stick these in so you can see at the end if we have a finished product. So I'm just putting them in my oven. So another way to do this is to put them directly on the stove top. You just turn the heat on, and if you have a gas grill, you can just char them on all sides. Or you can do this outside on, on a charcoal or gas grill out in your backyard. You just put them on the grates and let them get nice and charred on the outside. So then what they're gonna look like when they're done, so they look nice and shrivelly and black on all sides. And so what I did was I roasted these off about an hour ago, and then I put them in a bowl to sweat. So after they came out of the oven, you can see the skin is nice and black here. I put them in a bowl, covered it with plastic wrap, and what that does is allows the skin to separate nicely from the peppers. So now all I need to do is pull the skin right off, and you can see how easily that comes off. So you can buy these jarred, but they are not super inexpensive, so I think it's much less, or it's much more affordable to do it by hand, and you can just see how easily that came right off. And I'm just gonna do my other one. And we just have these gorgeous roasted red peppers. All right. So now all I'm gonna do is just remove the stem and the seeds from them so that I can add them to my hummus. So you can just chop the top right off and then pull out the seeds and the stem. Sometimes some guys stick behind, so you just want to shake them out so you don't want the seeds into it. And then just chop it up into a couple of pieces like that. So our food processor is going to do the rest of the work. Do the same thing with this guy. You can see some nice juice comes out. Sometimes we get one of these babies in there. So you don't have to get every single seed, but get as many as you possibly can. Chop that up again. All right, so these guys are ready to go into the hummus. So we're gonna get started on the hummus itself. So I have 2 cans of chickpeas. You wanna get low sodium if you can, so you can control how much salt you put in them. And I'm just gonna drain them. So I'm gonna use a strainer and just drain the liquid off. You can also cook the chickpeas from scratch. So if you have dried chickpeas, you can use those and just cook them until they're nice and soft. One thing that some people like to do to make their hummus extra smooth and creamy is to take the skins off. It's a bit of a labor of love because you're taking each individual skin off, but if you can see here, if I squeeze it, a little skin will come off. So some people really think that really makes the most creamy hummus, but we're definitely not going to do that today because that would take a really long time. So basically everything's just going to go right into my food processor. You can also do this in a blender if you don't have a food processor. So we're going to just rinse these off for a sec to get the last bits of salt off. Great. And then we're just going to dump them right into the food processor. So that's the main ingredient in hummus is chickpeas. So it's nice and high in fiber. There's some protein here and even some carbohydrates. So hummus on itself fits all 3 of those bills. So then what we're going to add to that are a couple of cloves of garlic. Just dump those in. And then we've got some tahini paste. So tahini paste is pretty widely available, and it's basically like peanut butter but made out of sesame seeds. So usually you can find it like in the Middle Eastern or kosher section of your grocery store. And you just want to stir it really well. So just like natural peanut butter or almond butter, it's going to separate the oil out, and you just want to give it a really good stir. You can see it looks just like a really runny peanut butter. And so we're going to do a 1/4 cup of that. And then we've got some spices. So I've got some olive oil. So we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. measuring. So we'll do a couple tablespoons of olive oil. And then we've got some smoked paprika. So you can use regular paprika, but the smoked paprika really goes well with the peppers in this recipe. That gives it really a nice smoky flavor. So we are going to do 3/4 of a teaspoon or more. If you really like that smoky flavor, you can do more. It's going to also really complement that nice red color. And then we've got some cayenne. So depending on how spicy you like things, I'm going to go kind of low on this, a 1/4 teaspoon. But if you like really good spice, you can definitely use more. And then we've got some salt. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt to start. You can always add more. And then we need the juice of 1 lemon. So I just have a lemon here. I'm just going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to squeeze it first into this bowl so that I don't accidentally get seeds into my hummus. Nobody wants to eat a seed. This is just going to give it some nice brightness, a little acidity. And I'm just going to pour it in. I'm just going to pour it right through my fingers so I catch all the seeds. You can use a strainer for this too, but fingers work just as well. And then lastly, we're going to just add our peppers. So we'll dump those right in. And then we're going to need a little bit of water, most likely too, but I'm going to start without it, and then see how much more I need. Just put the lid on. You can see it's coming together. Okay, so I'm definitely going to need some water, so I'm just going to grab a measuring cup and kind of add it like a tablespoon or so at a time. You can actually do it while it's running. Just pour it through the feeder. Or not, in this case. Oh, it is done. Water didn't go all the way in, so I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. Alright, so now we've got our nice, fresh red pepper hummus. I'm going to give it a taste to see if it needs any extra salt. Nope, it's good. So a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to start out with should be good. So we'll just transfer it to a bowl. The bowl where I have the peppers is just fine. I'm a big fan of not dirtying as many dishes as possible, so I like to use the same bowl that I started out with and just keep going with that. And just need a spatula. So now to serve this, you could serve this as an appetizer at a barbecue. Or you could just keep it in your refrigerator and make little snack packs for yourself to take to work. So to serve it, of course, cut up vegetables would be great, but also some sort of whole grain chips. So what we're going to do to go with this is make some nice, easy homemade tortilla chips. So this could not be easier to make your own homemade chips. So what I have, and who doesn't have like 3 or 4 half-used packages of tortillas lying around in their refrigerator. I know every time I go and buy more tortillas, I realize I had 3 more packages sitting in the refrigerator that are half used. So that's a great way to use those up. So I'm just going to flip this so it's not wet. And these are just 100% whole wheat tortillas. You can also do this with pita bread to do the exact same thing. So in the same oven where my peppers are roasting, I'm just going to take some of these tortillas. And you can do them to order, or you can do them ahead of time and keep them in a package. So I'm just going to take my knife. And you just want to cut it through like you're cutting a pizza. So cut it in half, and then cut it the other way. And then you can kind of pile them up on each other and do one last cut. And so when you make them by yourself, make them from home, you can flavor them however you want. You can control how much oil is in them. You can control how much salt is in them. You can make them sweet or savory. You can sprinkle with any kind of spices you like. So it's really, I think the advantage of doing this at home is that you really can control what you're doing with the chips. So I'm just going to get a sheet pan, and you want to make sure you have like a fairly large sheet pan. I mean, it doesn't have to be quite this big, but a sheet pan that will allow you to lay them all flat and not touching, because if they're layered on top of each other, they're going to steam and not be as crispy. So I'm just going to lay them all out. And then you can drizzle them with oil, or what I'm going to do is use my fingers. So I just have the bowl of oil from before, and I'm just going to take my fingers and just rub each one with a touch of oil. And then we'll sprinkle them with salt, but like I said, you could sprinkle them with something spicy. Cumin would be really good on here. And then we're just going to go and flip them all over and do the exact same thing on the other side. So, and then we're just going to bake them. Doesn't take very long either. And you would be surprised how exciting fresh made chips can be for a party. So flip them all over. And you can see I'm probably not even using a whole tablespoon of oil for this whole batch here. Sprinkle with a touch of salt. You can totally leave that out too if you're really trying to watch your sodium, but not too much, just a little all over them. And we'll get them in the oven. Well, these are going to go probably about 5 to 10 minutes in your home oven. Here at Community Servings, we have some pretty industrial powered ovens, so it might go a little faster. So we get these in. Check on my pepper as well. And you can see that the peppers are starting to blacken there. Pull those out. So we'll let those go for a few minutes. So while I have some time, I'm going to check on the computer to see if anyone has any questions. And while I'm doing that, I'll also let you know that next week we will be doing this again. We'll be talking about fiber. So if that's a topic that is interesting to you, then make sure you join us next week. Does anyone have any questions? We don't have any live questions just yet, I don't think. Oh, smoked paprika. Someone is asking what the spices were that I used. So I was using cayenne pepper. Yeah, they look pretty similar. So they're both red. Everything in the hummus is red today. So we've got smoked paprika, and then we've got some cayenne pepper too. And this is a really versatile recipe, so you know you could put any spices you like. A lot of times people do add cumin to hummus. You could add some herbs too, like some parsley, or you know, I'm not sure what else would go great in this pepper hummus too. But this is kind of just a jumping off point for any kind of hummus you want. You could also leave out the peppers completely. People sometimes do olives or jalapenos even roasted in here would be good. You would definitely get a completely different color, but you can see between the peppers and the two red spices, I got a really nice like orange color going. So, let's see. Let's see all the comments. Alright, so I'm gonna check on the peppers and pull those out and just show you what they look like. So we've got some mince. And these tortilla chips are gonna go really quickly as well. Yeah, you can see they're already starting to puff up in there. So they'll be real quick. But you can see now that my peppers are starting to blacken, the skin is starting to separate a little bit, so it's so easy. So the chips are probably only going to need about 1 more minute in there. So the magic of television. So yeah, so I hope you got some good snack ideas. Some other great snack ideas if you're thinking about planning ahead would be like a piece of fruit, like an apple or a pear, or a banana, which is also super portable, and then some sort of nuts or nut butter. So you know, keeping like almonds or peanut butter in your desk is a great thing. A plain yogurt with some fruit, some cut up vegetables, and maybe a slice of cheese or a cheese stick. So you know, really basic things can be snacks, but also smaller portions of meals can also be snacks. Is there a question? Okay, so someone is asking if there's a way that we can make a snack or meal that helps with insomnia. So I wish we had like a magic answer to that. So there's definitely some evidence that magnesium and potassium are good things to help you sleep at night. So sometimes having something that's high in magnesium and potassium, like a banana or even some milk at the end of the day, are great for helping sleep. But really it's more also just making sure that you're getting enough calories during the day and making sure that you're getting maybe a snack, you know, not too close to bed, but maybe like an hour or two before you go to bed that's got all three of the food groups. So a carb, a protein, and some source of fat. You know, there's all kinds of lore about things that maybe make you sleepy, and the evidence is a little bit mixed on that, but definitely looking for foods that are high in magnesium. So nuts, bananas, even some tart cherry juice is supposed to be really high in magnesium as well, so that's another thought. I hope that's helpful. Feel free to ask another question if I didn't quite answer that. So I'm going to pull the chips. These are great. You can just see how easy that was to pull off. So if I was having this as a snack, I wouldn't want to give myself the whole bowl because, sometimes it's easy to mindlessly just keep putting them in our mouths. So if I was making a snack, I might just put like a couple of tablespoons. This is about 12 servings, so somewhere around a quarter cup of this would be about your serving size. I'd do that. Maybe I'd pack this in some Tupperware, and then maybe I'd bring like 6 or 7 chips, maybe some vegetables to kind of balance it out. So carrots, celery, cucumbers, all of those make great things. You can see how nice and crispy and brown those look. So I will post the recipe after we clean up here today, but is there another question? Thank you. My team here is letting me know that there will be another question. There's another question. Oh, is this the tahini question? Yeah, so there's a lot. So someone is asking, is there any recommendations on some high quality tahini? And there's definitely, I've noticed, a a broad range in flavors for tahini. So I've had some that are super bitter and some that really aren't. The one that I've tried that I think is really the most like smooth and delicious tasting is called Soom. It's SOOM. So, you know, I'm not doing any product placement for them. It's just a preference of mine. It's a little bit more expensive. I know you can find it on Amazon. I've also seen it in some specialty stores. The one that I always used growing up was that can of the Joyba tahini. You know, it's a little less expensive, but it works just fine. I know Trader Joe's has their own tahini, which is actually really great. And also Whole Foods, the 365 brand, I've tried that one. It's great as well. So yeah, there's definitely like a broad range of flavors. The one I have here today was actually the only one they had in the store I went to this week, so I can't say for sure if it's gonna make a huge difference, but that's a great question. So yeah, so I'll be posting this, and thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week. So.